Live from the City of Angels, Sunday morning, midnight movie money, latest box office over the weekend. One of the worst weekends we've seen in a long time because it's Super Bowl weekend. There's no studio that was, I guess, brave enough to put a film into the marketplace when you have the Super Bowl today on Sunday. You just get a bunch of kind of smaller films that tried to make a dent that really didn't do much. Send Help ends up being your return number one, down 48%. $10 million on the weekend. It's now over $50 million on the worldwide gross. But again, you talk about a weekend that was really rough for theaters. This time of year, unless you have next weekend, a Wuthering Heights coming in that's going to be doing some serious damage, 50 million plus, very likely. It's got a nice 4-day weekend. A lot of folks are off Friday and on Monday, so that will be fortuitous for Warner Brothers. We'll have those numbers for you next week and that live evaluation on Thursday night here on MMT. But they just don't want to take a risk. There's no real reward to throw a big film out here and hope that it does well. If it doesn't, then everyone's going to say, why did you bother with Super Bowl weekend? You notice the other headline here. Let's go ahead and knock this out right now. Melania plunged 67% at 2.4 million. It's your number 10 film this weekend. And what I find curious is THR's got this article up right now talking about how Amazon MGM's on the offense, talking about how this film is not just about theatrical. It's about the long runway into streaming. Here's the quote: Melania's strong theatrical performance, which is debatable. I mean, for a documentary, you're looking at, let's pull up the latest number here, 13.35 million. I mean, for a documentary, honestly, that isn't bad. Okay. So that's what you have to keep in mind. The problem is the cost of the film. But he's talking about how this is a holistic distribution strategy, building awareness, engagement, providing momentum ahead of the film's eventual debut on Prime Video. Well, here's the thing, right? She apparently pocketed $28 million. That's the report Melania Trump got for this. Brett Ratner got a fee for directing it, obviously. Amazon spent something like $70 million, $40 million for the rights, and then another like $30 million to domestic to actually get out there and promote it across the U.S. primarily, because Melania's not going to travel overseas very well. And then you look at a situation where they're saying, hey, man, it's all about Prime Video. But remember, it's Amazon. Just like we talked about with Apple. They have more money to lose than virtually anyone. Amazon. I mean, who doesn't have Amazon? If not Prime, who doesn't use Amazon to buy things? Raise your hand. I do. You do. They are making loads of cash. So for them, it's a relationship with the Trump presidency. Can we get some things done, right? It's all about that. But you look at, this is also an older audience that would even want to see Melania. They don't go to movie theaters anymore, right? You talk about even my parents who would maybe go see Melania. They're kind of like middle like me, but just out of curiosity. They would never go to a theater to see this. Older people are going to wait to see it on Prime. So to the point that they're raising, that it's really about Prime Video, it does make sense that that's the case. And again, when you throw in all of the other things I just mentioned, money to blow, getting the president on your side, then it all kind of makes sense. But we had that review for you last Sunday if you want to check it out. That's Melania number 10. Let's go back to number 2. It debuted Solo Mio. That is the newest Angel Studios movie. Kevin James. I'm not watching it. I have no interest. I'm not going to watch that. It's just one of those films that I'm going to take a hard pass on. I'm going to start doing that more and more this year. If there's something that's just like, I'm not going to even waste an A-list on it. Another example, that's Strangers. We'll talk about that. Number 3 came out this weekend, and it bombed suitably. I mean, it deserved to. There was no reason to make 3 of these films. The first 2 were borderline, well, they're torturous, but almost unwatchable. And then you have a third that people are like, why? Why are we doing this 3 times within roughly a year or so? And I'm just going to say hard pass on that. So Solo Mio's number 2 at 7.2 million. Iron Lung was down big, but it's over $30 million for Markiplier, who I still don't know what he does. I know he's a YouTuber. I don't know what he does. Is he a gamer? Is he a current events streamer? I have no idea what he does. I assume it's gamer because isn't this a game? But it's very profitable film, not a good film. Go back and watch our evaluation of that last Sunday here on MMT. Number 4, Stray Kids, which is a K-pop concert movie. All this stuff I have to educate. What is this? I have to read. What are these films? I have no idea. 5.6 million. I think it was about 20 million on the worldwide for that, if you're a fan of the, quote, Stray Kids. Number 5 was Dracula. And why is this important? It's the biggest ever debut for Vertical Entertainment, who has had some decent films in the past. The Order was pretty good. Of course, you guys know I love Asphalt City, Vertical Entertainment. They had We Bury the Dead, which is early this year, and that was their previous big debut. This takes that out and becomes their largest in their company's history. 4.5 million for number 5. See, all these numbers are really low. I mean, we're talking about a 60 million-ish weekend, one of the weakest Super Bowl weekends ever. I think the lowest was going back a couple of years ago when we had Argyle and we had that horrendous Lisa Frankenstein. Oh my God, you guys see that movie? Holy shit, that movie. Strangers is here at number 7. As I mentioned, you already had the first 2. You got the third one here at 3.5 million. People said no. I saw the first 2 with A-list, but when it came to a third, I'm like, forget it. As you guys know, I saw Whistle back on Thursday, which I didn't think was the worst. We have that evaluation on the Thursday night stream, Midnight Movie Talk. If you're watching on X, go to YouTube, look for it. You can find it there. And then you talk about another film that debuted this weekend. Don't have the numbers in front of me right now, from Sony Pictures Classic, that I really like. From the director of Belle, which I've only said you have to see this film. I think it's an anime masterpiece. This is Scarlet, and we'll talk about that tonight, in addition to all the Super Bowl movie ads, the spots that cost a fortune. Are they over 10 million for 30 seconds? But a lot of studios are going to have a ton of movie content tonight, so we'll discuss that live immediately following the Super Bowl. Whenever the game ends, I'll be on within 5 minutes of the final whistle, as it were. Let's talk about Fire and Ash, because it's still kicking around. It's still $900 million behind Avatar 2. I need you guys to remember that I called that a long time ago. It's going to be substantially under. Let me go. No, it's only no. Just say here's what we do right now. You guys ready? If you're one of the people who doubted me about Avatar, I need you to stop, take a moment, deep breath, and say, Weber was right. He was right. I mean, I really shouldn't doubt the ace. I did. Big mistake. 900 million under. Again, the film's profitable, but we're talking about that big of a chunk of change that you're missing from 2 to 3, and you want to make a 4th when you can clearly see the pattern. The people are not as into Avatar. I never saw it. I passed on this. I don't need to see it. My favorite meme I've seen in a long time, I tweeted out this week. It was, you don't like Avatar? Well, here are 2 sequels that are the same thing, only twice as long. It's true. I just have no interest and will never revisit the world of Avatar. And I think a lot of people obviously agree with me when you're down $900 million in the box office between 2 and 3. Let's do the weekend top 10, and I think I have to go to deadline for that because I do not have the email yet. I went a little early today. Wow, we went early? Weber's going, yeah, I got to run down to the beach. I'm sorry. If you're freezing your ass off and you've got 5 feet of snow outside your place, it's still 80 here, so I'm going to be down playing some beach volleyball because it's a beautiful day here. Again, this week I hear we're going to 55, though, for a high. So don't think it's all perfection in Southern California. But you guys are 55? I'll have shorts on and shit wherever you are. Here's your top 10. Send Help is number 1 at $10 million. And again, down about 50%, call it 48. Solo Mio's number 2 with $7.2 million. I got to revise these things as I'm doing it live because some of these numbers are a little off, but it's roughly ballpark. Iron Lung right around $6 million at number 3. Again, over $30 million on the total haul for that film. Stray Kids, the concert film, the K-pop thing, is at roughly 5.5 million. Dracula, biggest film for Vertical ever, at 4.1. I did not see it. I do not plan to see Dracula. I don't care about watching another incarnation of Dracula, Frankenstein, any of that stuff. I started Frankenstein, I turned it off. I just want to watch new things. I'm tired of watching sequels and reboots. I mean, I am excited for Wuthering Heights, and I understand that is a reboot, technically, right? It's a remake. It's Emerald's vision, but I love her artistic imprint as a director, certainly after Saltburn for sure. And then you look at what she's done here. You've got the music usage. I'm looking forward to that film. I have a feeling I'm going to have a very high score on that. You've got Zootopia 2, now the number 5 MPA film all time. It just beat, I believe, Infinity War was the film it took out. So the 5th biggest domestic, born here in the States, worldwide hit. That's impressive for Zootopia 2. We knew that too. We knew that because of the refraction period, right? That long window after Zootopia to Zootopia 2, you regain interest. People wanted a sequel. It's not nearly as good as the first. But please, guys, please do not tell me that Zootopia 2 is better than 1. I mean, if you're someone like Matthew Bellany, who is, I think, he's fraudulent. He's very much on the spectrum of fraudulent, right? Along with a fantasy. I mean, fantasy and baloney, the E's, both of them fraudulent. But he called that the best film of the year. Do you know that if you're the ultimate Hollywood insider, the bastion of journalism, and you're calling Zootopia 2 the best film of the year, do you guys understand? Like, this is, it's clown world. We're going to talk about it tonight because there's a really good little quote I found that I believe really hits all the areas of what we're seeing in the world, and certainly in the world of film. We have a bunch of people who are completely unfit to be throwing out plaudits like that. And then if you do, it's done. Like, you can't come back from that. You can't be that just erroneous. And it is. It's subjective. If I hear one more person come on my channel or anywhere, it's subjective, Eric. Don't you know that everybody's got an opinion and we're all great? Were you raised with the trophy generation? Here's your trophy for last place. Same shit. Not everybody's opinion is valid. Hate to tell you that. You have varying degrees of talent at doing this. So I'm sorry, I had to go off. I was just talking about Zootopia 2, but I just laughed. The best film of the year. Unbelievable. Strange. And listen, it wasn't a great year last year, but Zootopia 2 is not even in the top 10. What? And then I think, wasn't Fantasy that says something like, wow, I'm surprised. Zootopia 2 is a total banger. Well, first of all, it wasn't as good as the first, but why would you be surprised if the first one was great? Like, that's the thing. These people, I don't think they even saw Zootopia. Like, that's how stupid. And you guys put these people on pedestals, right? You know that, right? You put them up there. Oh, Matthew Bellany. Oh, my God. Oh, look at Sean Fennessy with his Criterion Collection. What a fucking stud. Dude's idiot. Dude, he doesn't know. He is. Forget it. You guys, I'm telling you, didn't want to be irascible this morning, but I'd start looking at this stuff and all these things come flooding in. These guys that we have to exist within this space that are held up as the leaders. The leaders of what? The leaders of being fucking dumb and not knowing really what works and what doesn't, and not having, and also let's talk about this just quickly because it's true. Not having the guts to call things what they are when it's time, right? Well, go back and watch my review of Melania. It was very fair, and I called it a vanity project. I called it a total, absolute, overproduced, mega glossy vanity project. And then you guys, see, that's why I'm number one, because I will say that. By the way, did the anti-woke channels do that? I doubt it. They probably didn't, because their base would be like, how dare you? We're Trumpers. Mega. Strangers, I mentioned. Avatar 8, 9 Shelter, 10 Melania. I was just, do you see that rant right there just took me an extra 3 minutes. I was going to make this 10 minutes. I'm at 14. I'm sorry, it's 15 minutes today. That's going to do it. I'll be back here tonight for the Super Bowl postgame show, and that will be reaction to the spots that we see during the show, in addition to some other news, live evaluation of a film I really like. I would say it's the biggest, largest kind of cinematic film that I've seen this year. It is Scarlet. It opened in IMAX this weekend, and I think it expands next weekend. I do recommend that film. We'll talk about why tonight. Thanks for being here. I'm off to the beach. Enjoy your Sunday. Peace out. See you tonight. MMT Sunday Evening Spectacular. Goodbye.